Salt Lake Valley to the mist-covered banks of the Hudson Valley, and all across the globe, the signal drifts through the night. This is Midnight Signals. Now, here are your hosts, Sergeant Shenanigator and Alien Mike.
Alien Mike, what's going on tonight, man?
Hey, another day in paradise. How are you doing, bud?
I've survived the week, so I guess we're okay. And we got Lilith already joined us. So, Lilith, welcome.
How's it going, Lilith?
So, tonight's going to be a fun night, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. I've been looking forward to this for, well, I mean, we posted about it a week ago, but I've been looking forward to talking with somebody about this for quite a while.
Nadine, welcome. Good morning.
Okay, give me just one quick second.
All right.
Okay.
Drew, good evening, Mama Drew. Welcome.
We've got a lot of people in already. I didn't expect that.
Cool.
So let me.
I remember when I was driving truck. I remember many nights listening to the gentleman we're going to talk about tonight on the Art Bell show overnight. It was very interesting. Yeah, that's the door back there.
Yeah, the creepy door in the background that always opens and shuts. The creepy flag behind me that always moves in the wind.
Yeah. So if it moves, I'll probably cry like a little baby. You know, that's the type of paranormal investigator I am.
Yep, I hear you. So tonight we're talking, as you know, about Bob Lazar, and this one is an absolute rabbit hole that you can go down for so many years if you really wanted to.
Oh yeah, I pulled up information online about him, and it's positive, it's negative, it's right in between.
Yep.
They call him a liar. They call him the greatest thing ever.
Yep, it's
hard on this one.
Heard it all. So, oh, here we go.
Hydra Star, welcome.
Yep. How's it going, Hydra? Good to have you here. So, I guess, I'll start with what I've got, and then you can stop me anytime you have something, or tell me to shut up, interrupt me, whatever. Does that work for you? All right. Well, as everybody knows, the topic tonight is about Bob Lazar. So I'll give just a real quick introduction about him. He grew up in Coral Gables, Florida, which is a suburb of Miami. And then later in life, you know, after his high school and stuff like that, he moved to California. And then that's where we go, you know, into Nevada and everything else that he did. Let me find this other. Okay, so his full name, Robert Scott Lazar, January 26, 1959. Now, Steve, I got to know if you got what information you got on this, but everywhere I looked, and it made me laugh, was he was a self-claimed physicist. Still having trouble talking. Did you hear that at all as well?
That's kind of what I got too. I mean, it says he's got some degrees, but yeah, he was at a young age. He was already claiming to build jet bikes.
Yeah, and that I always thought was really cool. He put jet engines on bikes. I think my favorite would be his. I believe it was a Honda, like Honda hatchback car that he did, and seeing that was just an absolute blast. And the interviews that you see with his mom, I don't know if you watched any, but she absolutely hated it.
Oh yeah.
And
Colin, good evening, man. How are you?
Hey, Colin, how's it going, bud? So yeah, I always thought it was funny that everywhere I looked, besides talking to, interviews with him, was self-claimed. That they all said he was a self-claimed physicist. He also entrepreneur and owner of United Nuclear Scientific, which is a scientific supply store company in New Mexico. The education, I think, and I believe you agree, is the biggest controversy I have found around Lazar.
It is. It's one of the biggest controversies, if not the biggest. Yes.
Yeah, and I've tried to find everything I can on it, and like other topics we've had, you can never get a definitive answer. He'll say one thing, and then other people say a completely different thing. But he claims to have degrees from MIT and Caltech, and they say there's no official records confirming it, which is one of the main skepticism talking points about the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. I do know that in his book Dreamland, George Knapp wrote the foreword to that.
Mm-hmm.
Part of the foreword, he discussed this. That he reached out to both universities, and they said there was absolutely no record of him at all.
Right.
But in his research, they ended up finding yearbooks with his picture in them.
Yep, they found yearbooks, and I can't remember if it's at a place. I think it was when he was working at a place that people said he never did. They even said he never did, but they have phone directories that have him listed as a physicist for them.
Yeah, that was at what was that? Los Alamitos.
Los Alamos, yeah.
Yeah.
So, I don't know who all here has watched Bob Lazar, Area 51, and Flying Saucers, but in that, I think it was George Knapp was talking about their people that they had interviewed that said they dropped Lazar off at school every day and picked him up. That he was his ride there, but still, there's no records, no. That he was a student, no grades, no degrees that anybody can find. And according to Lazar, they didn't want anybody to know anything about him, so they just completely erased everything. His work history, school history, diplomas, everything like that.
Yeah. Now I know. Tonight I'm going to kind of play the skeptic, and right off the bat, I'll say that a lot of what I've read and heard, I believe the guy. So it's going to be hard for me to play the skeptic tonight.
Yeah. I've always believed him. They're, like we were talking about earlier, in an 89 interview with, I think it was with George Knapp, he went under the pseudonym Dennis, so nobody would know who he was. And he talks about everything there. And then also in another interview, in both of them, he said, I'm doing this as insurance because they don't want me to talk to anybody about this. So his thought was, if he tells them and something happens, then that proves that he's right. So that's why he wanted to, go public with it. I've always been right. And they wouldn't release anything, like you said, no transcripts. They would never confirm that he was even a student there. And so that's what, it really got me thinking, because I believe that the guy went there. I mean, like he says, who's going to hire somebody to be a physicist with absolutely no degree or no knowledge?
Exactly.
Proving they know how to do it. So
if he were in the Los Alamos phone book as a janitor, it would make more sense that he's a storyteller.
Right. And I know, like we've discussed about this and other things, that when people write books or do movies, there are aspects of it that are embellished. They want to draw the audience in. They want to have their whatever it is.
You have to have that hook to keep people going.
Yeah, you got to keep people interested in it. So I know stuff is embellished, but just like Travis Walton, Lazar, his story has pretty much stayed the exact same since '89. It's not changed.
Yeah.
So in the interview with George Knapp, when he was under the pseudonym or alias Dennis, he said he was recruited to work at S4, which was a facility near Papoose Lake, which is south of Area 51. Now, the whole S4 brings up a whole nother rabbit hole you can go down, because some say that it has absolutely nothing to do with Area 51. They just claim it does because of it being in close proximity to the base.
Have you looked at the map of Area 51?
Oh yeah, I do all the time.
And have you seen how close Papoose Lake is to Area 51?
I can't. I know I've seen it, but I can't recall.
It's within walking distance.
That's what I thought. I mean, it's not very far. So that's what I wish I could find a more definitive answer on. And if anybody in the chat, I know Hydra may know, or Lilith, but is it really connected or a part of Area 51, or is it just something next to it?
The way I look at it, just looking at the map, and I'm sure we'll talk about Area 51 shortly, and everybody will know who Camo Dudes are. But if Camo Dudes chase people out of the Papoose Lake area, it's part of Area 51.
Yeah. So it's just always been kind of intriguing, but that's with anything, that can be a conspiracy. You got one side saying, yes, this is that, this is this, and the other side absolutely saying, no, it's bullshit. So while at S4, his job was to reverse engineer gravity propulsion systems from a recovered spacecraft. According to Lazar, it was powered by, as I'm sure everybody here knows, Element 115. And he said that it generated a gravity wave used for propulsion. Now, if you actually get into it, this was really cool. He says, most people see a UFO and it sits flying, parallel to the Earth. And he says they move up and down that way. But when they're going through space, it's belly first. Let's see, what else here?
Belly first. I didn't get that part.
What was that?
I didn't get the belly first part.
You didn't? Yeah, he said. So, have you seen the drawings or a video? I think it's in the movie, but did you see the drawing that he did of the spacecraft in the parts that he worked on? Okay, so the three that are on the bottom, propulsion systems, he says, so they lift up and then it turns sideways, because the way it's supposed to work is, and he describes it like when you take a bowling ball and put it on a bed or on a trampoline in the middle, and it kind of sinks down in the middle and everything falls towards it. That's essentially what Element 115 causes the craft to do. So it's not flying like we normally think of something flying. It's falling through gravity.
Okay. And for anybody interested that wants to watch that documentary, it's Bob Lazar, Area 51, and Flying Saucers. You can find it on YouTube.
Yep, it's on YouTube. I believe it's on Amazon Prime too. That's where I watch it.
And soon, S4, the Bob Lazar story is coming out, and I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's going to be really cool. So yeah, the way he describes how it works was really cool. I'm no scientist. I'm generally dumb as a brick, so I don't understand the majority of what he says scientifically about it, but that part I did get, that it falls through space basically. Okay. And then on the technology, he said the craft, it generated its own gravity field. So like I was saying, it allows it to bend space-time, creating a wave that pulls the ship towards its destination rather than pulling it, so falling through. And that's another one of the concepts that it has to do with like warp drives. And so I couldn't understand any of that. I tried.
Well, I do know that what they talked about
Mhm.
was S4 was basically where not only the crashed ship in from Roswell showed up,
Yeah.
but then supposedly we had agreements with aliens who would bring their ships up here and
Yep.
let us reverse engineer stuff.
Yeah, and
And to me, it's strange because this is happening at Papoose Lake
Mhm.
and S4, Area 51, all at the same time that we're creating the stealth fighter and the stealth bomber.
Yep, exactly.
Again, it's going to be hard for me to be the skeptic tonight.
Yeah, and it's things like that. Now, there is another thing. Well, okay, so before I get into that, so they with the craft they have, he said that there was 9 that he knew about that we have,
Yep.
and some of them were ones that were recovered. Some of them were ones that, like you said, the agreement with extraterrestrials that he says we had, they were bringing them here specifically for us to be able to reverse engineer them for the purpose of the stealth fighters and all that.
So,
Excuse me.
you know,
Go ahead.
just that part alone, I hope is true.
Yeah. Let's see here. The crafts, he described, just like all the other ones we've talked about, the propulsion systems are completely silent. There's no visible exhaust. There's nothing is emitted from the crafts.
Yep.
So, and his story is one of the reasons why Area 51 became so, synonymous with UFO.
His story actually put Area 51 on the official map, not just conspiracy theorists, but all
just
became something real.
Right, on the map, just 100%. And like everybody that whistleblows, there's people that consider him a whistleblower and he's exposing secrets that need to be known, or he's just a bullshitter with a good story just to gain notoriety about it.
But, that's the other funny part that is hard for me to be a skeptic tonight.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he's a master storyteller.
Yeah.
Well, just to have the amount of knowledge he has on some of this stuff would require more than 2 degrees.
Oh yeah, you would definitely have to be. You'd have to be involved some way. And
yeah, you're talking about element 115, gravity amplifiers, 0-point energy.
Yeah, and
these are all, other than element 115, it's all theories that he's saying we've proven at S4.
Exactly. Well, like you said, if it was just all theories, how did it, it just so happened to coincide with the time we built, all these stealth fighters and everything else using similar technology?
Yeah.
I
remember during that same time frame, the Nellis Air Force Base reported that they were testing a new supersonic aircraft that could actually traverse the Earth in under 5 hours.
Yep. Yeah, they were testing that, and apparently they were, according to Lazar, they're flying the spaceships, the UFOs that they had. Now, the one thing that I don't know if I believe was, he says that they were scheduled, they scheduled the flights roughly every Wednesday or every other Wednesday. And he said one time, or the reason he got fired from the job was because he was bringing friends up to a ridge that overlooked where they flew the UFOs, and he got caught for doing that. Now, I don't know if I believe that, because they would have probably locked his ass up for a long time if he did that.
Oh yeah.
So
You
part,
get locked up just for crossing the front gate. Why
Yeah.
would they not lock you up for standing on a ridge overlooking super secret sensitive testing?
right. And so I don't know. I don't really believe in that. Unless I have more information about it, I just can't, because all he's saying is he knew about the test flights, brought friends to watch it from a distance, so he's not on property, but still the fact that he would have had to have opened his mouth and, told everyone,
Oh yeah.
I just don't really buy that part of it. So since we were talking about Element 115, as I'm sure maybe other people as well, that's what he said they used as the propulsion component to this, UFOs. And I guess the thing that drives people to believe that he's telling the truth about all this stuff was in the 80s, and it wasn't technically discovered or man-made until 2003.
Yeah.
And
that's the hilarious part is, every last bit of research that I've looked at on Element 115, Bob Lazar's a liar. Bob Lazar's a liar. And then all of a sudden, hey, we've synthesized Element 115.
Yep. And they wouldn't. I believe that it was all him. He found it. He figured that out. But then they synthesized it, of course. So I don't think there's any lying going on there from him. To actually get a lot of information about it was really difficult. I don't know how much you found personally, but what I got was it was a highly radioactive element, and they gave it the atomic number 115. The name is moscovium, and it's in the category of post-transition metal. And then it was 2003 by Russian and American scientists at the Joint Institute for Nuclear Research in Russia, and then they collaborated with Lawrence Livermore National Laboratory.
Yep, I got that, and I do know that currently there are no uses for it other than scientific research. I know he's claimed that it was fuel.
Yep.
And I think that's just because what he's discussed about Element 115 and what they synthesized are two different things. Because what they synthesized decays so fast that it can't be used for anything else.
Yeah.
What Bob Lazar was talking about is it was very stable. I mean, it was powering ships.
Right. And that's what I got, that it was extremely, fractions of a second, and it just completely broke down. But if that was used in spaceships, there was a way they contained it. So, and I'm trying to find the exact wording for, there. So the way it supposedly works, well, one, it can only be created in a proton accelerator, and
Mike will be back with us in a second. Hopefully he'll be back. All right, well, it's just me. Mike should log back in here in just a second. And we'll get back to Element 115 in a minute, but it's really hard to discuss this because of all the scientific terminology that Bob Lazar used in his book and interviews. And for somebody that everybody says has no education, this guy is fairly intelligent. And it's so weird that everything I'm sorry. I just saw Lilith's comment. Everything he talked about on Element 115 and other things that he's discussed, they kept calling him the best BS artist around. And then all of a sudden, maybe 4 or 5, 6 years later, it's coming to fruition. It's kind of hard for me to play the skeptic and it's hard for me to play. Give me a second. We'll get there. He is. Hey, welcome back.
Okay, you were hold on. Me, welcome back. You were the one that was frozen.
Really?
Yeah, I was sitting here talking the whole time about Element 115, and you were sitting here like this. And so I was like, Steve, hello, and I'm waving, and then I tried calling you, and nothing. See, okay, now I'm seeing chat. That's too funny because the last thing I saw was from Colin saying, "Same here, busy." That is I'm starting to really love Streamlabs. Okay, so
Oh yeah.
let me actually catch up on what was going on here.
So wouldn't Element 115 just be a placeholder name until the element was discovered and named? It would.
Yeah.
But why would you use Element 115 as a placeholder when the guy that originally came up with that term, you're trying to disprove everything that he's talking about?
Yeah, and that I thought about as well, and it didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Yeah, and there was no mention, as far as I can see. I could be wrong, but there was no mention of Element 115 until Bob Lazar started talking about it.
That is 100% correct. There was nothing. I mean, so when they say in 2003 it was discovered, then I mean, I think that wording is wrong because it. Okay, what is going on? Mike froze for us. Saw Steve the whole time. We all saw and heard. Oh my fucking hell! Because
yeah, you completely froze, and then you were frozen for probably 30, 45 seconds, and then just disappeared.
That's okay. So I don't know if you're gonna mention this at all or at the end or not, but we're going with a different platform after today.
Yes, we are going with a different platform. I think I don't know if it's our connection or if Streamlabs is just getting bogged down with, their servers are getting bogged down with gamers. But we are going to try a different program next week. We may come up to Streamlabs if the other ones fails, but we're going to try a few things out and see what happens.
Yeah, and I used it yesterday, as you know, Steve, and although it's not video that we're doing, we did it on video like we're talking, but we're using just the audio portion, but the video worked flawlessly.
Oh, speaking of that,
no
Mike,
problems. And
I got two things to promote real quick. We got Horrific Podcast with us tonight, so please show some love to Horrific Podcast. Go over there, check out his channel, like, subscribe, and then Mike.
Yep.
I understand you got something new going on right now.
Yeah, I'm sure some people have seen it. Me and Carl Svensson have. We just started talking about doing an outdoor podcast, just audio, talking about places we've gone, camping, what kind of gear, stuff like that. What we like about it, and we did the first introduction episode yesterday morning. But then we uploaded it today, so
I think you guys should do. I think you guys should do a video and post some pictures of where you guys go.
We've got the Instagram set up, and there's the website that Carl put together. We've thought about it, but right now everything's going to be, if it's photos and videos, it's just going to be online, and that's how we're going to do it for now. In the future, we may do video.
And now that I've promoted too, there's this little thumbs up button underneath your screen. Go ahead and smash that thumbs up button. Give us a like.
Like and a follow. Make a
Yeah.
comment. Tell me I'm ugly. Something. Get us out there. So yeah,
Colin's about to pop up here and recommend Restream. Yeah, we've looked into Restream as well.
I
might look more into Restream and see what happens. I know the first time I tried it was a few years ago.
yeah.
I wasn't really happy with it, but they've probably improved since then.
Yeah. The one that me and Carl use is Riverside, and there's zero lag. No, there was no issues, other than he had two mics plugged in on accident, and they canceled each other out. He just had to pull the plug on one, and it was fine. But yeah, Riverside. Is it Riverside? Something like that. Yeah, it worked really good. So if that doesn't work for us, Steve, then we'll try that Restream and see how that works.
We'll keep trying until we find something that works perfect, which may be never. And I mean, as soon as our software starts working perfect, we're going to have to be perfect, and that's not going to be good.
Yeah, nobody wants me to be perfect. And it's we're talking about all this. If we weren't talking about UFOs and government conspiracies, this shit wouldn't happen.
Hey, maybe it is the NSA.
Oh, don't get me started on the NSA, boy. Ooh.
Hey, you live real close to that NSA listening post.
Yes, I do.
For
right
anybody interested, yes, it's there's an NSA listening post probably about 9 miles from where Alien Mike lives, and it's not hidden in the mountains. You drive by it anytime you head out towards the mountains, you can see this place.
Oh, yeah.
It is an eerie looking building. Yep. My brother Dave lives very, very close.
Yep. It's really, really interesting for sure to see it. And I'll see it and I'll just sit and stare that's a whole nother show for me right there. I have a big problem with the NSA.
I would say we could do a show about it, but I don't know if I would.
Oh, fuck no. There's no way in hell I would.
Well, you're so close. You'd be gone before the show was over.
Yeah. I wouldn't even get to say goodbye before I'm screwed.
Bunch of guys in black camo and the helicopters moving your flags behind you.
Yep. That's what's causing the flags to move, is they're coming to take me away.
Excuse me, I gotta start muting the mic when I'm doing that. But anyway, we better get back to Bob Lazar.
Yeah.
Spend too much time talking about the NSA, they'll shut us down.
Yeah, and I don't need that happening. They'll find out other stuff I do.
Absolutely. They know before you do it.
Yeah, 100%. So I'll go back to. Let me scroll up a minute, so I can just.
We were listening to you talking about.
Yeah, it was with what in response to Hydra's comment, I believe. Yeah, I don't know. The whole thing is mind-boggling to me. Oh, I know how I was putting it. So I don't think discovered is the proper word they should have used, when they said it was discovered in 2003. I think it should be just create or man-made or created or synthesized at this point. But at most places that you look, it says discovered, when it was obviously discovered in the 80s and they called them a liar about it. And then, oh yeah, we magically just figured it out. No, you knew about it and you've been, so.
And to me, I mean, if it's that unstable, why are we still doing scientific research on it?
Exactly.
Say you've synthesized it, it's unstable, it disappears in a matter of, not even a full second, it's gone.
Yeah, milliseconds.
Why are we still doing testing on it and scientific experiments? It's because they want to get what he's been talking about.
Yep. It really makes me think that they may, with all the advancements in technology and when they were creating all these different things, that maybe they're leading us to believe that, oh, it's just unstable, when in reality they're already using it and it's fine, you know.
Now,
Go ahead.
with 115, I know he also had the gravity amplifiers that I researched a little bit.
Yeah.
And for anybody out there that's a Star Trek fan, you might recognize what this is about.
Yeah,
these reactors should be able to bend space and time.
right. And
Sounds like a warp core to me.
oh, 100%. It's exactly like it's shown in Star Trek. So I wish we could put up the pictures of it, but so on top of the ship, there's like, they almost look like portholes. There's 3 of them that go around on the very top of the ship, but they lead to the bottom. And on the bottom, it's basically like 3 little legs that it's on the inside of the ship, but they can move in different directions. And so that's where the 115 is held. And so it uses the amplifiers down to cause propulsion and bend space.
Yeah. And another thing that he claimed to have reverse engineered was a 0-point energy, which is what pulled energy directly from the fabric of the universe to help propel the ship.
Yep. The one thing that I found really interesting about it is when they asked him, you know, what did you work on while you were there? You know, you obviously have seen the ship. Everybody, it was all compartmentalized. So he was only allowed to look at 2 different sections of the ship. He was only allowed to reverse engineer, touch, have anything to do with it. You traveling back and forth, for example, from the airport in Vegas to S4 Area 51, you're not allowed to talk to anybody else. You know, they keep everything separate. So I assume so not one person has all the information and can do something with it.
Yeah, I'm going to out a friend of mine. He was actually in the Air Force for 4 years and then re-enlisted into the Army. And that's where I ran into him. Okay. And he admitted to working Area 51, but not the aliens and stuff. He was a security patrolman that was responsible for running the SCIF, the Secure Classified Information Facility.
Okay.
And everything leading up to Bob Lazar landing at Area 51 is exactly what this guy went through. He talked about flying Janet Airlines, which I think is a hilarious name for an airline.
Oh, that is the best name that you can have.
So for anybody that doesn't know, Janet Airline is just another non-existent terminal.
Yep.
And they are white aircraft with a red stripe. You can see them at McCarran. They've got their own little terminal out there. And they fly out probably once or twice a week up to Area 51. That's as far as they go.
Yep.
And he said, once you board, there is no talking on that little 20-minute flight.
No,
you don't talk to anybody on that flight because you're not allowed to talk about what's going on up there. So the only conversation you could have is good weather. And
pretty much.
You just say you're quiet on the aircraft.
Yeah. The other thing that Lazar also mentions, and I'm sure your buddy knows about it as well, is once you land, some people get on a normal like bus or tram, some kind of vehicle, you know, and they go to where they're going. The people going to S4 are on, you know, essentially like a prison bus, but the windows are all black, so you cannot see out of it. So you, damn it, Janet. So real quick, am I frozen on your screen, Steve?
No.
Okay, because you're frozen on mine. Just I can hear, but you're frozen.
I'm even watching the YouTube feed, and I'm moving around.
Oh, okay. Then if it's on YouTube, fine. Okay. Yeah. So I always found that interesting because how would they, you know, at that time, how would anybody know where S4 was, you know, initially? Mm-hmm. if they have no way of knowing how they got there or the direction they went to get there, if the windows are all blacked out, obviously the driver knows, but I don't know. It was weird how it was described.
Well, I do know my buddy from the Army. He said it is the worst assignment to have, because outside of what you do, you don't know anything.
Yeah.
So he controlled access into the skiff, but he didn't know what went on in the skiff.
Yeah.
And if you were assigned to one lab, the lab next door, you never knew what they were doing.
Yep. That actually brings up something I thought was funny was, he talks about it in the movie because he was confronted about seeing an alien, and he shakes his head and goes, no. He was walking somewhere. I can't remember where he said he was going, and he happened to pass by a room, and he looked over and he saw a really small being. And everybody assumes that he saw an alien. And the way he describes it is because on the inside of the ship, the one that he was working on, there were, I believe, 3 chairs that for someone to sit in, but they were extremely little. So any normal average person wouldn't be able to fit in these. So what he thinks it was because they were testing that in whatever room this was. They had a doll that they were doing measurements on and seeing how it would fit or what size you would have to be to fit in these chairs. But people are convinced he saw an alien.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I personally don't believe that there are aliens. Like in Independence Day, we don't have an alien captured, hidden below.
You mean like J-Rod?
What was that?
I said, you mean like J-Rod?
Yeah.
The you know who that is? The one of the surviving
Yep.
aliens from Roswell. Yeah.
Well, I don't believe. I mean, if Roswell was real, we had dead bodies.
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe that's there.
Yep. It doesn't make sense.
I've seen some weird things out across that desert. Do I believe that aliens are visiting and passing on information? I do.
Right.
But I don't believe that unless you're at the highest level and you know the overall picture, I don't think you ever get to see the aliens.
No. And it to me, it's just kind of laughable because I know if I had downed a plane on some other planet and these beings came up to me, I wouldn't want to be there. I wouldn't just say, oh, okay, well, now that I'm here, I guess we'll just work together. Yeah, I'd be doing whatever I can to get the hell out.
Yeah. So and for Lilith, yeah, the skiff's been a term I've used since the day I went in the military.
It's not
anything like the government drama, the CIA, the FBI. It's not like any of those rooms, but it is a very secure, classified room where there is no eavesdropping.
Yep.
So it's, on TV, it looks really nice to go into a skiff, but you're basically just in a concrete bunker.
Yep. Another thing about 115 that surprised me, and we talked about this earlier, was the raids in 2017 with when Lazar's home was raided and his company, I always forget the name, United Nuclear Research or something like that, the supply company. From what I understand, they never told a reason why they were there. They just raided him.
Yeah, and the only thing I've ever found about a reason was somebody vaguely mentioned
that he had. Yep. Yeah, so he's under the impression that they were there for Element 115, that he still had some, and that he was supplying it to people. But
I agree, Lilith. I think the producers just barely learned that word, and they got to use it everywhere now. I'm going to come up with a new word for producers to use. Create my own little military acronym and say, "Oh, you guys ought to use this," just to embarrass them.
Oh, that'd be great. But
so anyway, yeah, the raid.
They never charged him. They didn't find anything, not a single thing. No, there was no evidence of anything, any alien material was, none of that was found. And then, in all, again, in the research, it says, at least publicly, nobody knows of anything that was found.
And that goes back to the theory that he's full of crap.
Yeah.
Well, if you're full of crap, why is your house being raided?
Yeah.
I mean, if you're making up an incredible story, the FBI is not showing up.
No.
Today.
Yeah, there's so much other more important stuff going on that there.
This is 2017.
Yeah,
there'd be no terrorists that can come across the border.
Yeah, I mean, they tried to use the excuse that they got the, I guess, warrant for the raid was because of chemical sales, because he sells chemicals and other scientific equipment, and I think it's absolute bullshit because nobody would go there and raid anything for no reason.
Yeah.
That just, to me, proves or adds to the belief that he's telling the truth with pretty much everything.
So,
and I like what he said, that what do I gain from coming out publicly with this? Because
it's a Travis Walton thing.
Yeah,
you pretty much destroyed your life by coming out.
Oh yeah.
If you were a government employee, you will never be a government employee again.
Nope. And that's
make sure you don't ever hold a good job again.
Yeah, and that's, I believe, why he opened up his lab, was because he screwed himself. Well, yeah, I guess essentially, screwed himself, because he did get fired, but he would have still had the option. So,
but that brings us up to the whistleblower era.
Mm-hmm.
When he finally decided it's time to let people know what's going on.
Yeah. From what I found, when he blew the whistle on it, I mean, it was right after he did get fired. He said, everybody had a right to know. He had death threats. His wife had death threat. All these things were against him. And I kind of understand when he said that he was doing it as insurance to keep himself safe. I'm not sure my thoughts on that yet, really. But
I'm not either. I mean, it makes sense.
It does.
It makes sense.
Yeah, because I mean, the way he says it, if something happens to me, that just only adds to the.
Yeah.
That I'm
end up in a very suspicious death.
Yep. Then now they know.
Securities are going to start jumping about that.
Yep. Actually,
I do know that originally he came out to KLS TV and George Knapp in 1989.
Yeah, that was
that first interview. His face was blacked out.
Yeah, and that's when he went under the alias Dennis, and that interview was actually brought up by, I think, Knapp again, and then later by Jeremy Corbell, who did the movie. Mm-hmm. That said, well, why did you want to have your face blocked out then, but now you're coming out and saying the same stuff, but now you're letting everybody know? And that was when he said, I've had all these threats. This is insurance, to make sure everybody knows I'm telling the truth.
Yeah. I shake this cough. So And I do know that from 1989 on, George Knapp actually tried everything to prove or disprove.
Yeah, people, know who Bob Lazar is now because of Knapp. But that right there to me would be a good person to have as a friend. I mean, Knapp did everything he could to find out the truth.
Yeah.
And I mean, he's the one who pretty much found out everything that we do know.
So he found the yearbooks with the pictures in. He found people who remember bringing Lazar to school.
Yep. I believe there was at one point when he called one of the schools and they eventually, I guess, confirmed it and said, well, we have a Robert Lazar that went here, but not a Bob Lazar. Well, we know what you're talking about.
Oh, yeah. Who has the name Robert and goes by Bob? I mean, that's so uncommon.
Yep. Like Michael and Mike. I mean, that never happens.
Yeah.
So
but I also know that George Knapp researched the heck out of this S4 because everybody, the government, the UFO community, they were all saying, no, we're calling BS on this.
Yeah.
And George Knapp eventually reached out to Nellis Air Force Base.
Mm-hmm.
After Nellis had to admit, there is a facility at Groom Lake.
Mm-hmm.
He reached out through the Freedom of Information Act and said, is there an S4 up in the Groom Lake area? And Nellis said, yes, but we can't tell you what it does.
Right.
So it's been confirmed that there is an S4 there.
Yeah, and I think I honestly missed something earlier because or maybe you brought it up. He was working at Los Alamos, and then he was recruited. That's what I think I left out. He was at Alamos and then was recruited by I can't remember who to work at S4, and that's what ended him up in Vegas.
Yeah, he was working out of the facility in Los Alamos.
Yeah,
he was never a government employee. I guess we should have brought that up. He was always a contractor to the government.
Yep.
So he worked for different contracting agencies in that area, but never worked officially for the government.
Right.
So
I'm trying to think if I have anything more. I mean, this is like a few other things that we could talk about that you could go on and on and on about. But that's pretty much the gist of it. He was hired and got fired, and people think he's full of shit and he lied about everything. So, there was no records, and now there supposedly is proof. So where do you think you stand on it?
Well, I'm going to be the skeptic here, but the weird skeptic, because the skeptics out there and the scientific community out there said there is no physical evidence proving his story. Well, there was no proof that we were conducting tests on the stealth bomber and the stealth fighter until it was released.
Right.
So of course there wouldn't be pictures. It's still classified.
Exactly.
They say that he had inconsistencies in his science. There were inconsistencies in element 115, but again, it could be as simple as what he's seen on an alien ship is going to be different element 115 than what we've synthesized.
Right.
The other thing is there's no witness corroboration. How do you have witness corroboration when you're not even supposed to know anybody that's working at the facility you work at? I mean, my buddy in the Air Force said when they came up and they showed their ID cards at the skiff, sorry, Lilith, the first name was always covered up. So you never knew the first name. All you saw was the rank and the last name. and it was a scan system, so he really wasn't even looking. As long as he got a green light, they walked through.
Yeah.
He said, I didn't know my commanding officer up at Groom Lake. I could not tell you his name, but in the military, we're supposed to know our chain of command.
Yeah, but you don't. And when you bring up the scanning system, that was talked about in the movie. Corbell searched for a long time and finally found what Lazar was talking about, and it was a scanner. And I so wish we could put this picture up, but it's basically like a white square, and there's 5 pins that stick up above it, or so you put your hand on up to those pins, and then it shines light through your hand supposedly, and it measures like bone density and the length of your bones and the features of them, and that's how they scan people in and out of S4.
Yep.
And I know we've had that technology like that for a long, but I don't know if I buy that exact scanning system there, at least.
Not back then.
No.
Today, maybe.
Right. It was.
Not like that.
Do you remember what it looks like from the movie?
I do.
Okay.
And that was a pretty accurate description.
Yeah.
So.
It just doesn't seem like that would work back then, but that's just my perspective. When you look at his face when Corbell hands him the picture, he was like, holy shit, I did not think I would ever see one of these again. Like, you could see genuine surprise.
Yeah.
I mean, I know, or I believe that he saw those scanners, he may have used them, but I don't know if I believe it's for what he says.
So the other thing, I mean, I've really tried to be a skeptic on this, but it's hard for me.
Yeah,
and this is the number one reason it's hard for me. Back before 1989, 1990, somewhere in there, after Bob Lazar came out, was when the first real Soviet picture of Area 51 came out.
Mm-hmm.
But when George Knapp first started interviewing Bob Lazar, he drew out very detailed maps of the area.
Oh, yeah.
And very accurate to what we can see today.
Yeah. And to me, that just solidifies that he knows what he's talking about. And it is a good chance of being true, because if nobody's had these pictures before, how are you doing that?
Now, in the past, if he would have been there in the 70s before they started using eminent domain to gather more area around them, around Groom Lake, yeah, there was some hilltops that you could stand on and actually overlook the facility.
Right.
But that was the 1970s.
Yeah,
That's
and
not, the current look that they have today is from the 80s.
Yeah.
They have admitted that, yes, in the 80s, they started doing construction. Area 51, from the little bit of research I've done, was never supposed to be a permanent facility.
No, it wasn't.
So in the 60s and 70s, they did not sink a lot of money into it.
No. And once it kind of, I guess, took off, because that's something that in some interviews is brought up. Like, okay, if all these pictures and the videos, whatever we have, it all looks the same all the time, but you guys say you're building where, and that's where when they finally decided they're going to keep that place, they started going underground instead of up and out. So, what is it? I know you've seen it, Steve, but the Area 51 show that we had talked about a few episodes ago, there in the story they talk about, or that they go through Area 51, and a lot of the stuff that people have said as far as what it looks like, from level to level or outside, they do a pretty darn good job describing it and putting it into that movie.
Yep.
So if you want to really look at what,
so they do a really good job at that.
Yeah, so it's. I mean, again, it's a movie. They weren't really there, but the way they designed the set and everything was pretty spot on from the descriptions people do give about it.
So here's the skeptic in me. Let's assume for a moment everything that Bob Lazar says is complete BS.
Okay.
All right. Just assume that for a moment. What Bob Lazar did was became the greatest storyteller around because he turned a small dead community into a hotspot of UFO gatherings, right? Just down the road from Area 51. There were UFO conventions before this, but they never gained traction until after Area 51 was spoken about and became mainstream. So, if anything, as just a storyteller and everything he says is complete BS, he has brought in billions of dollars of tourism to Roswell, to Las Vegas, to I forget the name of the town that's just right outside of Area 51. But he brought in so many tourists that they changed the original name of the hotel and restaurant to the Little Ailey Inn.
Yep.
That was, I want to say it was like the New Rochelle Cafe or something. Or I can't remember exactly what it's called.
I think it was the New Rochelle.
But they changed the name. And now every year that place gets, I mean, thousands of dollars in tourism dollars just to go out and drive up to a nondescript gate down a dirt road and take a picture.
Yep. And I mean, you're absolutely right. And, to go back to the movie I just talked about, in the movie, they go to that same exact place and you can see what an influence he had on the town,
Yeah.
So I'm right
at
there.
a bare minimum, all the tourist traps, the Roswell, every place that ever claims to have a UFO, the Area 51, they owe this guy a big thanks.
Oh yeah, a big old pat on the back.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
but what do I think? I think he is a good storyteller, but there is truth in his story.
Yes, I will have to, basically say the same thing. I believe him 100%. And there's not a lot of people that I do believe, but on the same hand, I know that like anybody that has a fantastic story, they're going to kind of embellish it here and there to make it sound better or more interesting than it really is.
Yeah.
And
so when he talks about his security clearance being majestic,
yeah,
he has a top security clearance that's maybe codenamed majestic.
Yeah, they
higher than the top secret security clearance I had. It just he can't see stuff I've seen. I can't see stuff he's seen.
Yeah, and there were some that, they said you had to go through like a dozen and a half different checkpoints and security things here and there. It's like, no, I don't think there's that many. But
I can tell you that there to get to Air Force One on Andrews Air Force Base, which to me is the most guarded aircraft in the world, is 4 checkpoints.
Yeah.
So when you're at a place like Area 51, don't scare me like that. All of a sudden, my door starts moving.
Well, I wish I could have seen it, but all I see is you. I see the door behind you, but you're still frozen to me.
No, I'm not. Okay, that's weird. My wife was not frozen, on the
You
YouTube,
were.
but I was. My wife was moving around. I was frozen.
Yeah, they're the NSA again. God damn it.
So, I don't think there needs to be that many checkpoints when you're surrounded by the Nellis bombing range.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I know I'm sure there are a bunch, but I don't think it's anything like that.
No.
So yeah, I'm with you. Who's got a nice shirt?
Oh, you didn't see my wife's shirt?
No, you're still lagged. I don't see any. You've been in the same spot the whole time, or for like the last half hour.
Wow, I'm still moving. Yeah. We got a package from somebody in Utah today with some shirts.
Oh, yes, you did. I can't believe you guys got those already.
Yep, we got them.
Well, I think she sent them yesterday.
Wow, that was quick.
Yeah, Sarah, didn't you send them yesterday? At least I thought that's when it was. Might have been the day before.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, I believe him, but
he's a very good storyteller. But I also think Travis Walton's a good storyteller as well.
oh yeah,
But there's truth in the stories. I think there's. Yeah, she did send them yesterday.
oh okay, dang.
I think there's less story in Travis Walton than there is in Bob Lazar.
Yes,
But Bob Lazar is trying to sell books and make movies. So yeah, he's not lying, he's just embellishing.
yeah, and I'm still of the belief that yes, there are people out there that will say whatever they can trying to gain notoriety, but when you look at all the crap he went through and all the stuff he had to deal with because of it, sorry, I was reading all the crap that he got for it. I don't think he would have done that just for no reason, or to think that, oh, you're gonna, I don't know. So I believe that it happened, and he tells a good story, like you said, but I don't know.
I'm nowhere near Bob Lazar, but I've got things from my military career that I still can't talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And if I did, that would, one incident I know for sure, it would destroy both any chance of a government job, not that I'd get one at almost 60, but it would probably destroy my civilian career as well.
Mm-hmm.
Because, so what he did, yeah, he pretty much sank himself.
Oh yeah. And to me, I have a lot of respect for somebody that's willing to sacrifice themselves to get that knowledge out there. I mean, just like look at, and of course now I can't think of his name. Edward Snowden with the NSA.
Oh yeah.
He didn't agree at all with what was being done. So he blew the whistle on it and he sacrificed himself. So we knew, and that takes a lot of damn courage. So
now he's a hardcore Russian citizen.
Yep. Yeah, I like Snowden, and I thought that was really interesting when he was getting screwed here. He would have been locked, and nobody would have seen him ever again. And got asylum. And
the only thing that bothers me about him going to Russia
is that it's Russia.
It's Russia, and he knows how to hack. He knows networks. He knows how to do things.
Yep. And so now he's going to work for the other side, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it makes you wonder what information he's passing on to them right now.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a lot more safeguards in place. And
I would like to believe that. I would like to believe that it's not happening, because he didn't agree with our government doing it, so he ratted on them, but you never know. So, I mean, is there anything else that you or anybody else would like to add about Bob Lazar, talk about anything like that?
I tried my best to be a skeptic. I'm sorry I failed.
Yep.
It's hard.
I go in all the time
to try and be the antagonist when you believe at least 60% of what he's saying.
Yeah. I mean, I try to go in, or generally go in with, no matter who it is, completely skeptical of everything they say and do until I do the research and find out more. And there's very few people that I do believe, I guess. There's so many out there that are just full of shit just to make money or get attention.
Yeah, I know I was talking about Whitley Strieber last week. Was it last week?
I think it was a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, when we were talking about the top 6 alien abductions.
Yeah.
And I said that I think that my mom believes Whitley. Well, I'm here right now to pass this on. I was wrong.
Yep.
My mother thinks he is a great storyteller, and that's it.
And that's
she's
been my position all along.
And she's met the man.
Yeah. And I like the guy. There, in the whole UFO community, there is really only one person that I think is so completely full of shit. And I tried my hardest, my absolute damnedest, to watch his stuff and read his stuff, and that's Stephen Greer. I think that guy is so full of shit.
I can't even do anything on Stephen Greer.
No, I see him, and he's just somebody that I'm just like, I cannot stand that guy.
If we were to do a show on Stephen Greer, I got a feeling that YouTube and lawyers would say, no, we're pulling your channel.
Yeah. I honestly, I would just go to hell with him and then end the stream. Thanks, guys. See you later.
So,
and that would be it.
Doesn't look like anybody's got anything.
Nope.
So if you are interested, his current book, Dreamland, that came out in 2019, is available.
Okay, I got to stop you there just for a minute. I just so everybody else can hear this. When you brought that up a few hours ago, I sat here going, how the hell does he have this book? What is going on? Because as I told you, I have tried to buy. I've done it at least a dozen times where I've gotten on Amazon to go buy the book or the audio book, and it says it's pre-order. It doesn't come out till next year. I never looked anywhere else about it, so I'm surprised to find out that it was already out and they just did a revised version of it.
Yeah. His book Dreamland is out. You'll learn a lot more about him that we didn't bring up here. We didn't want to bring up because, as far as the UFO community, it really wasn't pertinent.
Yeah, it didn't have anything to do with it.
He did run a very profitable photo business when he was in Vegas waiting to go to work at Area 51 and a few other businesses. But if you want to find out about those, feel free to get the book.
Yeah.
Again, on YouTube, I think it's on Netflix, and you said Amazon, is Bob Lazar, Area 51 and Flying Saucers.
Yep. It was a documentary done by I think it's Jeremy Corbell. There's a lot that it has to do with George Knapp and interviews with him and how his involvement in it. It's a great. I've watched that so many times. I absolutely love it.
For everybody that believe or don't believe, but just know that when George Knapp in 1989 started this, he didn't realize it was going to take as many years as it did. And he actually went out as a hardcore investigative journalist to try and prove or disprove.
Yep.
And he researched more than anybody else that was talking to Bob Lazar at the time.
Yeah.
And started putting a lot of the skeptics to shame by saying, oh, no, we found this information, we found this information, we found this information.
Yeah. He definitely did a good job bringing all of it to light and finding out the truth about things.
Yeah. So he is a fascinating guy to research. But again, go in skeptical and go in knowing that he also tells a good story.
Yep.
I do find it a little hard to believe that he drove around Las Vegas in a working jet car. But he claims it was street legal.
Yeah, if it's I know he did have some that were street legal, but
I mean, believe or don't believe. I mean, I know what I think. I know some of the things that I believe about Bob Lazar. I know some that I just sit back and go,
no,
this is the biggest pile of manure I've ever seen, and I've been on some farms.
Yeah, I mean, again, it kind of all boils down to the whole storyteller concept that there's, as far as everything he said he did in his involvement in Area 51, S4, Los Alamos, school, I believe all that. There are other things that surround all those that I don't believe, like the one we're not talking about.
Yeah.
So, what is
what I will say is, if you go on YouTube, you can see past interviews dating all the way back to the 80s and 90s.
Yep.
You can see current interviews, and what I have noticed is over every interview, every podcast he's done, like Alien Mike said, his story never changed.
Yep. And what I like is he just flat out says, you know what, this is my story. I really don't give a crap if you believe me or not.
Yeah.
I know what happened to me, and he tells the same story every time. So, but like you said, go in skeptical. So, but that's all I had on him. I mean,
we could do an entire episode just on S4 based on some of the things he's talked about.
Right, and honestly, that is something that I've been thinking about.
And that gets into a lot of scientific terminology and things that I just don't understand.
Right.
So I'm already a phony. I don't need to be sitting here proving myself more of a phony.
Yeah. I mean, we could go into so many different details. You could go into that rabbit hole for a long time, but I think we pretty much hit on the main points of Lazar, his involvement in things, and
thank you, Mama Drew Shenanigator, for the tea. That helped out a lot.
Tea, like hot tea.
Hot tea, yep.
Is it Paris?
I don't know what she brought me. Smells really good.
If it smells good, it must be Paris. That is
here in a second. Lilith, thanks for joining us. She said she's got to run.
Okay. Yep.
It's there. We go. Now it's popped up.
Yep. Thank you. I appreciate you coming on as always.
So it is Earl Grey.
Earl Grey. Oh, that smells good too.
I love Earl Grey. It makes me feel like Captain Picard with hair and beard. I gotta say, your description of the what is it? The gravity. Now I can't even think of it. I've lost my train of thought. But the gravity amplifier.
Yeah, amplifier. And Star Trek. I mean, that's damn near spot on.
Yeah.
And so
the more I read on that, the more I'm like, this is a warp drive. This is 100% a warp drive.
And it makes you think, because maybe, Roddenberry got the idea from that.
Yeah. Well, we got to have some Earl Grey together one day when we take a trip across the pond.
Yes. Earl Grey is way good, but my favorite is obviously Paris, and then after that, it's got to be Scottish Afternoon and Scottish Morning.
I like Scottish Afternoon.
Yeah, those are amazing.
As far as oh, good Lord, what's the name of the tea company we like?
Hardy and Sons.
Hardy and Sons. As far as Hardy and Sons, I love their cinnamon.
Yeah, that was honestly the very first one that I ever bought, and I found out about it because it was at the Barnes and Noble Starbucks by my house, and I thought, this is pretty interesting, and it was okay. It wasn't spicy enough for me. It was almost like a very mute, bland cinnamon flavor.
Really?
Yeah.
The one I had was perfectly spicy.
Oh, that's
now. Shout out to our non-sponsor. What was it again?
What? Say that again.
What was the tea company again?
Harney and Sons.
Shout out to our non-sponsor, Harney and Sons.
Yeah. If nobody's had that here and you like tea at all, that is one that you have to try.
Actually, Nadine brought up one I want to try.
Spiced apple chamomile. I can't do chamomile. There is something about it that no matter what you put in it, no matter how you make it,
Mama Drew's on your side.
Yeah, Paris all the way. And honestly, the last time I was staying with you guys, the way Mama Drew made it, where you have the loose tea, but you put it in the little tea ball and put them, because you can make it stronger. I liked it like that.
Oh yeah. How do we become a tea show?
I don't know. I was just thinking
a tea podcast.
We can do a tea podcast any day of the week. It'll just be me talking about Paris. Yeah. But yeah, that's about it for me.
That's it for me. Thanks for joining us again. See that big thumbs up down there? Go ahead and just smash that. Hit it. Give us a like, a subscribe. Pass us on to your friends. Pass us on to your enemies. Doesn't matter to me.
Yep. Comment, positive, negative, don't matter.
And remember, on the 31st, we will not be live, but we're still hoping some of you guys will send in your ghost stories so we can tell them on the air. But we are going to be posting a pre-recorded video that day.
Yep.
So
I'm glad you brought that up.
Alien Mike and the other guy that sits next to him.
Yeah, this guy right here. Or the there. Yeah, he moved. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I check our email multiple times a day. Nadine, I know we've gotten an email from her. If anybody can, please send an email with the story. We can find so many ghost stories online that they're a dime a dozen. I'd love to hear from everybody what they've experienced.
So make sure you check out Alien Mike's new podcast. We'll try and post a link in it on the Midnight Signals Facebook page.
Yeah. Wait, you did or you will?
Oh, we will.
Oh, okay. I didn't know what you said. Yeah. And then I know everybody that's in here is on my friends list. The first episode is up. That got put up this morning. So if you like anything to do with the outdoors, go ahead, like it, subscribe, share. If not, that's totally fine. I'm having fun, just like this. What we do, nobody watches. It's not a big deal. I like talking with a friend.
Oh, ghost encounters, not fiction. We'll take fiction too,
Oh,
as long
ooh,
as it's
that's a good one. I'm glad you asked that. If you have, I'll take anything, honestly.
yeah.
If you have real ghost stories or real paranormal stuff that's happened to you or somebody you know about, you can write about that. I'd love that. Or if you want to just make something up, send it over.
Yep.
My thing is just something from the viewers is what I would like.
Oh yeah. So real ghost, fake ghost. Just to give you guys an idea of what's coming up here in the near future. Next week we are going to do a show on Bigfoot.
Okay, cool.
We've got one of our followers is going to join us, JS, and he has sent me pictures from many Bigfoot museums and other information. He's already got an outline that he's working on.
Very cool.
We've got an upcoming show where Madame Ophelia is going to join us again, and we're going to discuss different ways of talking to the dead, whether
It's-
EVP or Ouija board, just many different ways that we can communicate with those who have passed on. The email is
Midnight Signal Podcast at Gmail. So,
what else we got going on?
um,
I know I'm going to put him on the spot. I know he's not on this episode, but we're working with one of our followers, Alec, who is a paranormal investigator, and we're going to get him on the show to talk about some of the investigations he's done. And
that I'm really looking forward to because I did that for quite a while around 2008, 2007, 2008. So,
did you do it right and have a hammer?
yeah, I always carried a hammer, but one of those little Tykes hammers, the little plastic ones.
Oh, the horrific just sent a story.
Oh, did we get it already? I sent him the email. Let me. I'll pop into it right now here.
So
Storyville, the Halloween podcast. Sweet. Just got it. We'll definitely be reading that on there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to Alec, doing that. That would be awesome. That's going to be awesome. Nope, you need a real hammer, Mike. No, I've got real hammers, but I pack a little bit more punch than a hammer.
Oh, one thing I need to ask, if you're sending us an email with stories, if you don't want your name sent, please let us know. So we
Yes.
don't, if you don't want people to know that this is yours.
Yes, that's. I'm glad you brought that up. That's very important. Colin, do you want us to put your name on it or? Mama,
He
yes.
stepped out.
What?
He may have stepped out.
Oh, he could have. I did send him a message too with the email. Oh, sure. So we can. Perfect.
Oh, perfect.
So
yeah, just let us know if you want us to share your name or not. And if you don't, we respect that. We're not going to embarrass you. One of our followers who just popped up with the initials MD. We're not going to do anything like that. Sorry, Mama Drew. Yours happened to be the first initials I saw. Other than that, Mike, I have got nothing, man.
I think I'm good too. I pretty much got out everything that I wanted to talk about for tonight with the episode.
Last thing. This Sunday, 4:00 Eastern time, go check out Horrific Podcast.
Yes, definitely.
Come if you like this chaos, you'll love that chaos. It is incredible to sit back and watch.
Yeah, he definitely does a good job at it.
He does. I've missed a few, but I always go back on YouTube and watch them at work, and my coworkers think I'm insane, and I have to tell them I am.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, join us next week for Bigfoot. We're not just doing Bigfoot here in North America. We're going to do Bigfoot around the world.
Okay, that's going to be a lot of fun. You know me. I'm honestly interested to hear that show because I'm not a Bigfoot believer at all, and there are stories that are interesting. I like hearing about it, but maybe
I'm on the fence. I don't know which way I'm leaning, but I'm on the fence.
And I've tried to be on the fence. I've tried to believe. I've tried to read, and now I will watch Bigfoot movies. I absolutely love those, but maybe Jay will change my mind. But
well, I mean, there's some good evidence out there, but there's also good evidence of Nessie, the Loch Ness monster. So I don't know. I will go into it like I go into everything else.
exactly. I am definitely looking forward to it though, because you never know. He might say something that I've never thought of, and it may be the one thing that solidifies that it's real. So yeah. I'm excited for it.
But until next week, then, man, you guys have a great fall. Great.
Yes.
Go out and watch the leaves change colors. While you're doing that, take a look up in the sky, see if we're being visited by anything. I think next week on the show, we might be able to give you an update as well on the 3-Eye Atlas, because currently tomorrow it goes behind the sun.
Yes. I've been that's something else that I have been following very, very closely with another person that lives out there in your neck of the woods there, Steve. And we've been patiently waiting for something like that
could be.
Yeah. We have been waiting. We're always talking about it. So
I still hope it's the mothership. I really do.
I do too. They can probe me all day long. Just get me out of here.
That's right. Well, until next week, you guys enjoy. It's spooky. And just know we love you. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thanks, guys. And you guys have a good night.